YouTube or Facebook? That's what we're gonna talk about today for 2021.
Okay. And we live.
Hey leaders, I'm Jahan Hadi. I'm an entrepreneur that's built multiple successful businesses. If you want to learn how to become a successful leader, come with me and I'll show you how. Alright, so if you want to figure out if it's best to use Facebook or YouTube, today I'm going to teach you and talk to you about which advertising platform is best to start with for your business in 2021. So we have 3 different categories that I'm going to talk about. There's going to be e-com, online sales, online product sales. There's going to be info products and consultation or software as a service. So the reason I'm breaking it down into those 3 is because with those 3 categories, they're actually the most differing from each other, and that's why all 3 are going to have different answers, and I'm going to explain each one specifically today for you in great detail. The reason I would recommend doing these specifically is I work with multiple businesses in my advertising agency. We work with different types of people, different types of businesses, all different fields, and we specifically focus a lot on info products, online products, stuff like that, and therefore you're able to get a good idea of where to start and where to move on depending on what kind of business you have, depending on where you're starting, and depending on what you're doing right now at this very moment within your business and how you want to go by expanding or growing your business in the future. First one, we're gonna start with Facebook. Right here, we're gonna have YouTube. So we got YouTube ads, we got Facebook ads. With Facebook, the thumbs up? Yeah, thumbs up. How do you draw a hand? My professional skills are too much for you guys to handle, so I'm gonna have Liana show her slightly less professional skills because I just don't want you to, I don't think you guys can handle my professional drawing skills. So here you go. Wow. That's phenomenal. I don't think I could have done a better job. That's just amazing. All right. You didn't even close the box.
That's weird.
You forgot to close the box. All right, so we have Facebook right here, YouTube right here. I'm just gonna get straight to it. YouTube, 100%, no question about it, for info products. There's already buyer intent, and if you look at YouTube, people are already looking at YouTube videos because they want to learn something. There's already intent to learn that related topic. So you can very easily do info products with YouTube, no question about it, 100%. I'd go with YouTube, but I would start with Facebook. If you have an info product, start with Facebook. Do not start with YouTube. YouTube is great, it's amazing for scaling, but you wanna test on Facebook first. You wanna split test and do a lot of testing, see what works, see what doesn't work well. Do that on Facebook and then go into YouTube afterwards. E-com, it's basically the opposite. Going straight into Facebook right there. And the reason is, with e-com, you want very specific targeting because you have a specific audience that you actually are targeting with. Okay, so with e-com, say you have a hair dryer. Yes, you can do products on YouTube like that. You can sell products like you on YouTube like that. But for the majority of the time, cheaper products will not sell nearly as well on YouTube. Facebook is much better at finding people in a specific category that are gonna do a specific thing, and just, you can do multiple little groups like that in e-commerce and just scale that up. So what you're gonna wanna do is take Facebook mainly for e-commerce. Yes, it will work in YouTube, but the main focus is gonna be in e-commerce. You can scale up after you hit a cap in Facebook, then you're gonna wanna scale to YouTube if you can scale that product, but it's very difficult to scale cheap products, especially now. With e-com, I'm talking about cheap products as in under $1,000. Under 500 to $1,000, it's a cheap product. Now, if it's an expensive product, it's the opposite. You're gonna wanna go with YouTube. If it's a e-com product that's actually over $500, you're gonna wanna go with YouTube. You're gonna wanna test with Facebook, get a few sales down, and then go into YouTube after you get done with your testing. Move those over to YouTube after you got your funnels and everything tested. You're gonna move that over to YouTube for those specific products, for example. So you can go with construction equipment, for example. Construction equipment is very, very expensive. So you go to construction equipment, you wanna sell that in your e-commerce store. If you're under 500 bucks, it's gonna be very hard to sell that on YouTube, but it's over 500 bucks. If it's a high ticket product, basically, you're gonna take that product and you're gonna sell that on YouTube because you can get very specific with your videos. Rather than doing small groups on Facebook, you can do very specific, very detailed targeting on YouTube. And what you can do is just scale that up. In that case, it would go into YouTube after doing your testing on Facebook. So you're gonna start there on Facebook no matter what, especially in e-com, and then you're gonna go into YouTube only on high ticket. Only on high ticket. So high ticket only, you're gonna go on YouTube for $500 plus. 500 and up, you're gonna go on to YouTube. Got e-com right there. Info products, no matter what, it's gonna be on YouTube. You're gonna start, actually on info products, it's gonna be the opposite of e-com. You're gonna start on Facebook too, and then go into YouTube, but you're gonna very, very quickly go into YouTube if you really wanna scale, because YouTube, it's like, you find an audience that works, you can just scale that up over and over and over again. Like you can hit $20, $50 the first day for testing. Then you can double that easily to $100. You're not gonna have an issue on YouTube. But on Facebook, you double that, it's gonna mess up all your tracking, mess up all the algorithm detail, the details that the algorithm's built up in Facebook. And it's really gonna mess up your overall conversion. And you're not gonna get the same results with Facebook as you would be able to do on YouTube. You just can't scale up the same way on Facebook as you do on YouTube. Consultation and software as a service. Now this one is relatively straightforward. It's Facebook, 100% Facebook. 100% Facebook up until a certain point though. Again, up until a certain point. So first you're gonna do that. It's similar. So you're gonna get up to about $2,000 a day. $1,000 to $2,000 a day, you're gonna hit Facebook with that one. But after you hit that $1,000 to $2,000 mark, you're gonna really move over to YouTube and you're gonna scale that audience up quite a bit after that initial testing is done on Facebook. But again, you're gonna be limited and it's gonna be a lot more expensive. Basically, when you start scaling up in Facebook and you start getting that lower ROAS, you're not getting the same return as you were before. When you try to start scaling up and start having issues with that, that's when you're gonna go to YouTube, and that's when you're gonna try new audiences, try new different tests, different targeting and stuff. But that's after you're done with Facebook. You wanna perfect Facebook to, not perfect, but get it down to a certain extent and get your audience down quite a bit, especially in consultation and software as a service. Get that down, test everything in Facebook, and then you're gonna move on to YouTube. So I hope that helped you guys. I really tried to put all that together very, very quick, very straight to the point, and get all that out of the way in a very condensed video. If you guys do have more questions, just leave them down below. I'll make another video on that. If you did like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can see all of the new videos that I have and that I post every single week. I post 3 videos or more every single week about entrepreneurship, making money online, and building your business. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, results are excuses, it's your choice.